This week on Video Game Takeout, it's Battletoads for the Game Boy. Battletoads started off as an NES game that seemed to be trying to cash in on the popularity of the Ninja Turtles. Except unlike most rip-off or cash-in games, Battletoads was actually good. Very hard, but good. The SNES sequel was kind of a letdown and pretty much ended the series. But before it was gone, they made a Game Boy sequel on par with the original. The Game Boy game is not a port of the original, but it does share a lot of the gameplay that made it both fun and hard. It's all been scaled down for handheld systems, but in a good way. As a side note, the music in this game is great and it sounds almost exactly the same as the NES game. There's a lot of variety in the game, which is one of the things that keeps Battletoads fresh. The combat is not that great, and the flying parts aren't the best flying parts that you've ever played, but all of it together just makes for a fun and varied experience. But be warned, this game is very hard. I'm not sure if it's quite as hard as the NES game, but it's right up there. If you don't like hard games or are prone to throwing things in frustration, this is not the game for you. I'd say this game's difficulty is up there with heavyweights like Ninja Gaiden and Ghouls and Ghosts. But if you like a challenge and enjoy memorizing levels to see how well you can do, this is a game for you. Adding to the difficulty is the fact that the game only allows one player. It's easy to get ganged up on when there's no one there to help you out. One of the most fun parts of a beat-em-up is playing with a friend, so it's a shame that it didn't make it into this version of the game. I know I'm sounding negative, but I actually do like this game. I just want to warn people what they're getting themselves into. This game can be tough and unforgiving, but it can also be challenging and rewarding. It's all in how you look at it. Personally, I'm into easier games, so I found this game to be a little frustrating, but it also gave me that feeling of wanting to get just a little further, like those old NES days of my childhood. Overall, I'd say if you like Battletoads, this is more of the same, and if you like hard games, this is definitely one to check out. But if you prefer games that are easy to get into and don't punish you for dying, I'd say skip this one. The game is for hardcore players only, and even then it can be very hard. If you can beat this game without a Game Genie, then my hat is off to you. Well, that wraps up this week's show. Next week will be our Halloween episode, where I'll be reviewing Alone in the Dark for the Game Boy Color, so I hope you'll check it out. Until then, I'm Ben. Have a great week.